Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insanely Air 13, and today I want to welcome you to the 22nd round of our 24 race season here in XRL's Realistic Division. It's been a very interesting season, to say the least, as we are winding down to the closing events. Championship battles have become a little bit more interesting going forward. The way it stands right now, there is a chance, not an automatic guarantee, but there is a chance that leaving today's race, we could automatically lock up the title for XRL Matrix and know that he doesn't even have to show up for the last two races to win the title. However, not necessarily that easy. I've gotten to talk with Matrix before today's race. He doesn't have the greatest of faith in his ability today. However, he does have good faith when it comes to, better faith when it comes to the next two races. There's also the Manufacturers Championship, which has become more heated now than ever before, especially with Ferrari finally being able to send one driver to represent them in today's event. We're preparing to get underway for the event. As you can see, everyone's starting to ready up, and we'll go more deeply into the points scenario as they stand in between the end of qualifying session 3 and the start of the race itself. But Belgium, one of the three pure speed-focused tracks on the schedule, up there with Montreal, which opened the season, and Monza, which is the season finale this year. You could kind of count Jeddah, but Jeddah you need a good aerodynamic setup for. You don't need to have the greatest aerodynamic setup here at Spa, though. The amount of speed that you carry throughout the end of Sector 3 across the start-finish line, the run down to out, and then the straightaway after that, really kind of can trump having a hit-or-miss setup around the rest of the circuit. So, with that in mind, there are obviously going to be focused on three teams. And we're also getting word we aren't expecting any sort of rain throughout the sessions today. The three teams that you should be focused on when it comes to performance will be Mercedes. They have overall the best cars, even if their drivers sometimes struggle to maximize them. The McLarens, which are pretty much the best well-rounded cars, but their drivers have also been struggling with consistency. And then also the AlphaTauri drivers. And amongst the AlphaTauri drivers, it's still XRL Torpedo, your second in the championship fight. This track, if he can avoid incidents, could potentially help him close the championship gap after everything went bad for him midway at Hungary, and he had no chance to close in on the title fight. In fact, it actually stretched farther against him as it went on there. First driver already coming out onto the track, that is going to be Frisbee in the Haas machine. Frisbee says that they have stumbled upon a good setup in the Haas that will feature them in a decent way here at Spa, and then later at Monza. They said, hey, look, normally we're not happy with our straight line speed, but we have found something that won't horribly compromise us across the entire lap and give us good straightaway speed. If so, we could see him going for a good run today. Also already on track, this is XRL Ozda. Ozda's been having a busy day of racing all day today. Did a bunch of karting earlier. Had to take some time, kind of get refocused, re-stabilized into running here. But he is on track. We'll be looking forward to that. This is XRL Jigsaw in the Alpine. He's been a long staple of the series, but it's just not been the greatest at finishing races. However, 3 races left. He's definitely looking to close things out in a good way. And then out here, coming down behind them, this is XRL Low and the other AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri, one of the 3 teams along with Ferrari and Williams in fight for the Manufacturers Championship right now. So Low obviously will be gunning to try and help with that fight as well. Eighteen drivers here for today's race. And it does look like some of them are trying to do a little bit of a... Whoop, 1 second. Alright, I do have to apologize for that for a brief moment. Anyways, this is XRL Flavor and Mr. Worson both out onto the circuit right now. Also, Davis John and the other Aston Martin, he has come out onto the track. But I want to put particular focus on Ryan Hurricane right now. He is running on the circuit just a little bit behind his teammate Frisbee, who is on a lap. Ryan, we'll be watching him closely today, see what he can do in the Haas setup, because if they have shared the setup now with the Haas, then we could see another great points day for the team. Haas has had a very, very strong showing, but have been sniped out of wins numerous times this season, despite being in the worst cars. However, did get to talk very briefly with Frisbee earlier today, actually late last night by American standards. They said, hey, look, with the anticipation being that all the cars will be a lot more better balanced next games, they could still be in the worst car and might still be able to pull off a good win or two simply because of how much closer together all the cars will be. Frisbee goes to the top of the sheets with a 144.918 as we now see Ryan Hurricane cross the line to begin his lap. But what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the next driver as Flavor now begins his lap. We're going to wait for a driver to come across the line to get a lap going here. Watch Ryan Hurricane as he flies down the hill right now, and just ahead of him, that is his teammate Frisbee, so he will get some aerodynamic draft off of his teammate. Going down the long back straightaway. Already up to 200 miles an hour, and the car's straightaway speed seems to maximize at about 202. A little bit wide on corner entry, but he keeps it close enough to the proper racing line. I think that should still work well enough for him. Ryan saying his lap on the soft tire compound right now. Ooh, big twitch there, downhill, but still legal. That will not help him. XRL Dragon has now brought his McLaren out onto the circuit, as has Gabo in the Williams here. The McLaren moves aside to let Gabo sneak by. Gabo, the only representation for Williams today. BG Bullbeast was driving the Williams, but he has really kind of stepped up his game over the last few weeks, and he has now been moved to being a Haas-only driver. There has been an Alpine that has had an incident. That is Jigsaw, who apparently may have had a spin on its cooldown lap. He set the fastest lap thus far with a 144.892, but some sort of spin, and he goes around again. And he's not the only one. There's an Aston Martin. That is Azda, who has spun just about 50 more meters down the track from him. And Azda comes nearly to a dead stop in the middle of the racing line. That's going to cause a little bit of a hiccup for some of the drivers trying to sneak by there. Ryan Hurricane does set time 47.220. He lost a lot of it in Sector 2, though. So what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to go ahead, spin a lap on board with XRL Dragon as he follows Gabo 367.20. See what they can do in their Williams and McLarens, both Mercedes-powered cars here, for a flying lap around Spa-Francorchamps. Well, so much for that. Dragon immediately invalidated, and Gabo is extremely down on pace right now. But coming to the line as we speak, though, is your current points leader, XRL Matrix. Matrix looking to just try and make it as far up the grid for a start as possible, so we're going to go on board and run silent with our current points leader in the Alfa Romeo. And now Matrix has invalidated his lap as well. This has been a lot of struggle for these drivers to actually get their proper laps in. Only 7 people have set times, and we're almost halfway through the session. Lowe is the next one coming to the line, so we're going to try and get a lap on board, a full lap on board clean with somebody, and we're going to do it now with Lowe in the AlphaTauri. And he invalidates right in the very first corner. Wow, it's like everyone's trying to spite me. All right, well, next one will be the Ferrari of Kinsey Retro. Kinsey's only been able to show up for about 2 of the last 5 races, only able to show up once every week, and the worst part is he's been the only driver in the Ferrari camp for that entire time. Is basically taken what looked like an easy manufacturer's title lockup to a manufacturer's title mishap now for the Ferrari team. But Kinsey has been putting together respectable runs, though, in this car, despite the fact that he's not been able to maximize his familiarity with it. So we're going to try and ride on board with him, see what he can do in this machine.
Come to you. Assuming I decided I wanted to die on the first one I got to.
Wait 1 minute, please, Zola.
That's alright. I'll just help you while we're doing this. Who's on the track? Matrix. Final corner. And what's he going to set on the medium compound tyres? He's going to set a 145, 685, goes to P7. David in the pits, Ferrari of Kenzie, is that? Yeah, Kenzie across the line.
Alright, and that's a full lap on board with Kinsey Retro in the Ferrari, and that will be a 146.706. For now, that's good enough for 9th fastest. Massive spread in times between 1st and 11th at the moment.
Oh, Elvy's just lost it. Just before, at the end of the ice race. What is going on up here?
Alright, Zola, real quickly include your audio. What happened out there that took you out so early in the session?
I've done the practice on this track, so I got to a corner, touched the curb, and went straight into the wall. I literally tapped the wall on my whole wheel cut off. I thought my car was going to implode at the same time. I thought I was playing Minecraft.
Well, your teammates just set the fastest lap on the circuit for now, so we know there's speed in that McLaren. Do you think there's a chance you can turn an 18th place start into a points-paying finish?
Well, yeah, if I can finish. I think if you finish the race, you're going to be in top 5 anyway. I don't think more than 5 people are going to finish.
Those are some really, really low expectations.
Well, 6 people have already spun. 3 people have already hit the wall.
Yeah, Matrix is one of you. Your championship leader has gone out. And major championship implications here in the first round of qualifying as XRL Matrix has crashed out. And he is stalled right in the middle of the racetrack. This will cancel Kinsey's chance at trying to go for another lap. Massive, massive incident happening now on circuit. We're going to try and get our points leader in here to hear what he has to say. But this would be massive.
By the way, Greg, you can't park there.
Alright. And coming into the party now is XRL Matrix. Matrix, go ahead and include your audio. Big accident there. Oh. big accident there. What happened that took you out?
Mate, I don't know. That curb killed me in X2 as well.
Yeah. There's a
I
fast
was a
curve.
ma-
If you hit the exit of it, it'll throw you right, doesn't it? It'll throw you right into the wall, doesn't it?
That was my
Colley's around again.
That was my inlet.
You binned it on your inlet.
Yes.
Do you think you are an elfin
Mate.
starfish?
Mate, it's all part of the plan.
Elfin.
El plan, mate. Wait till turn 1, carnage. Beat the back, avoid it.
Asda's gone as well.
But yeah,
Just
that was
before the
all part of the
corner
plan, insane.
Yeah, he's safe to go now. Collie boy disqualified.
Colley Boy's just been disqualified because he was not able to get his car away safely. Although it says he was in. Oh, and now an Aston Martin just nearly
He's
spins out
stuck
and
on
hits
a
him.
curb. Oh no, not what is it? What's going on there?
I don't know, but this has gotten really crazy. So, Matrix, do you think you can turn this, though, into a points-paying finish and try to lock up the title today? Or do you think this now pushes your chance at the title off by another week?
Depends what happens to Torpedo, man. Like, I'm gonna hang at the back with Zola and see what happens, because there's gonna be carnage at T1. The part of the plan is to basically wait for people to bin it, because it's gonna happen. And that's including me.
Alright. So basically, the real question for you then is, do you think you can make it to the end of the race?
Yeah, probably.
No.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Alright. Alright, well, we'll see. Yeah, that's the best way to look at it. We'll see, Matrix. Very weird thing to see you on the back foot going into an event. Championship still on the line. Let's see what you can do. Also coming in the party right now is Colley Boy. Colley, go ahead, include your audio real quickly. And Torpedo has now just gone second fastest with 44.758, so that's not helping Matrix's title bids at all. Colley Boy, go ahead, include your audio. It looked like a spin, and then the car got stuck on a curb. Is that what happened?
No, I wasn't beached or anything. It was just I was sitting off track trying to let cars by. Because I'm on wheel, you can't look left and right, so you can't see anything coming from the side. And because of the way I was positioned, I wasn't wanting to just pull out on track. And then I get
just only went at the same corner as Matrix.
So, nothing more I can do, but I'm not too fussed. I'm quite good. I'm half decent at this track, so I'm hoping to get a points finish anyway.
Alright, well, I've got to talk with Matrix, got to talk with Zola. They don't think very many drivers are going to be running at the end, so
That's probably
I guess
true.
the question to you is, do you think you can make it to the race end?
Yes. But I always say that.
Actually,
We'll see what happens though. I mean, it's a tough track, especially 100%. Just like you keep the head down and concentrating.
Alright, well, we'll be looking forward to what you can do. As we know, Mercedes still trying to break into the triple-digit points right now and try to have some sort of decent manufacturer's day. This could work out for you, though. Alright, well, thanks, Colley Boy, for being willing to jump in and speak with us.
LV needs to
Alright.
try and get a 147 or 220 to beat Ryan Hurricane, because at the moment Matrix will qualify in 15th because he set a 145 and no one above it has beaten it. So LV has to beat whatever times in front of Matrix. So if it's Dave, it'll be a 146.756, or at the moment it's Ryan Hurricane with a 147.220.
The big thing with Ryan Hurricane, though, is that he's been getting toes from his teammate Frisbee going down the back straightaway. And this lap, it looks like he's not thrown it away in Sector 2 like he did his first time. So Ryan might be on track for a faster lap now. Well, as I say that, he just put all 4 tires into the grass. Somehow it's still legal. Now it's illegal.
Yeah, now it's validated, yeah. He went wide in that pass right left-hander. The problem is with the Haas, it's just not a good car at all, so they're going to struggle. I mean, Frisbee is just Frisbee, he's an alien. So we expect him to be there anyway. I'm seeing he's like 2 seconds a lap slower than pretty much anyone in the top 5 cars, 6 cars. So, and then to be able to compete with the likes of Jigsaw or Torpedo. Same as Gabo,
and
though.
Beastian's around and into the wall! And that's
damage.
it! Qualifying's basically over. Beastian will not have a chance to advance, not with that damage.
I can't see the damage. Qualifying's over anyway, the window's shut, isn't it? Yeah. So no one has to set any of these laps, then they're all through. Because Matrix is out, so is LV6, so am I and me. And Collie Boy. At least I didn't go. At least I didn't start last. Thank you, Collie Boy, for that. Thank you, Brian.
Alright, but both Haas's advance into the second round of qualifying here. For the Red Bull, though, with the entire front wing ripped off, only one of them will make it in. But his teammate, Flavor, got 7th. And then for you and the McLarens, your teammate, Zola, first, top of the timesheets right now.
Yeah, McLaren should be decent around here, to be fair, if you can actually get the car on the track. Same with the Red Bull and the Merc. It should be decent around here too. Alpha Ferrari is another one that should be decent, and the Alpine. If you're in a Haas or a Williams, enjoy, because that is going to suck. With the Alfa Romeos is also going to have a problem. Mr. Wilson in 12th position, he's through as well when the Alfa Romeo, so one Alpha's got through, but only just.
And then obviously the Ferrari of Kinsey Retro sneaks his way in. Didn't waste too many laps to get a time in. He is 13th fastest at the moment.
The Ferrari's an interesting one around here because it's going to get annihilated on the straight. But it should make it all up in the corners, so it's going to be an interesting one, that car is. Because it should make it up, like he'll lose it all through the first sector. And it should get it back for the second sector, and then lose it all again in the third sector. So it's going to be very interesting with that Ferrari. What Kenzie can do with it. Aston Martin
Indeed.
are probably going to struggle as well, to be fair. No offense, guys. I'm sorry, Aston.
Well, as you say that, Ozza has just crossed the line and jumped way up the order with a way faster time in the Aston Martin. He's had a very rough qualifying session thus far, but he finally gets a really nice quick lap in. As we look at the times at the end of the session, Ozza third fastest with a 44.817. Look at that gap between first and second, though.
Look at top
the
four.
The 7,000s. Yeah.
Top four.
Oh, wow, I didn't notice that, yeah.
100s. That tells you, though, that the way that the order of the drivers or in the cars are in is legit, because look at the top 7 separated by 2/10.
And then it's a big gap until you get into Dave Ewart in the Mercedes,
it's still
who's
only
8th.
8/10 between the top 11. And considering the Aston Martin and the Ferraris and that are not going to have a good day here anyway, it's a poor track for them. They were still within like a second of the race leader. I mean, the way this track is, and it could be anything. Oh, it's a dry race as well. It's fully dry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dry race as well.
Yeah.
There is one question I do have to ask you, Zola, and obviously Ryan Hurricane is probably the better person to ask because he's the one who really decides all the big stuff with the league. But there is a question I do want to ask with you. This is directly focused mainly to your current Haas drivers, more Frisbee than anything else. So right now, we know that the gap in times for cars in realistic settings can be up to 4 seconds difference between the fastest and the slowest. We've seen that proven time and time again. I think the big example was the exhibition event that we had at Russia about 2-3 months ago. Going into the next game, what is the strategy if the gaps between the cars are a lot lower, and even putting the fastest person in the slowest cars won't stop them from walking away?
That's all we can do, though. And the thing is, even if that's the case, they're still not going to win by miles, because the cars are still going to be like 2.5 seconds slower than what the P1 car is. But yeah, it's going to be one of those, but still, it's always going to be harder. The closer the cars are, it's going to be harder for us to balance everything out. But the thing is, Christie could go from being the fastest guy in here to not being the fastest guy in here by when the new game comes out, because no one knows how good they're going to be. Look at this year. This year is a good example. Last year, there is no way, no offense to Matrix, but he was no way X1 pace. No way. He was nowhere close to being X1 pace. This game, he's top 7 or 8 in X1. Same as Privilege Metal was another one as well. He was X2 pace mid-pack. He went from mid-pace X2 pack to basically top half of X1 because of the game. Some people pick up the game a lot better than others, so you don't actually physically know how good someone's going to be on the new game until it's out, because this new game is going to be completely different. It's a different driving model. There's going to be different tracks. All the tracks are going to be basically, well, they say they're going to be done properly, so we'll see. We'll take that with a bit
not
of
to mention brand new handling model due to
the
new.
But
yeah, not to mention new handling model simply because of the difference with the cars. Cars are going to be a lot more low slung. They're going to be much stiffer. And that's one other issue I do want to ask about. Any kind of preemptive strategy or preparation or anything regarding instance with cars going over the curbs. In real life Formula 1, they're now having issues where when the cars go over the curbs, it can wipe them out.
Yeah, Porpson. It does that now anyway on this game, to be fair. So we've already had a little bit of a practice of it, because we've already had to save our cars multiple times because of it. But They haven't announced another game to be out yet, so really, it's really hard to tell what to expect. Because normally we know we've already had like a demo or a little peek or something of the game, and there's nothing. There is absolutely nothing. So I think we all think now, as it stands, and with the admins anyway, I think the game isn't going to come out until like later August, maybe September. Oh, right, so Frisbee is on a lap on medium, so is Asda, so is Ryan Hurricane. Gabo's just about to start a lap on medium as well, but soft runners are just Kenzie at the moment on the lap.
Frisbee has softs on, at least I'm looking at his car right now, and he has the red side rolls on that machine.
Frisbee's got mediums on.
Oh, because I'm looking at his car, and it shows softs on my end. Well, it doesn't matter, because he's just invalidated.
Let me have a look. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Lemon just got the stream up, so let me have a look on the side of his car. Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's not the first time I've seen this game do that kind of mistake, though. Well, his teammate Ryan Hurricane is going through Sector 2 right now, and he does have the yellow medium tire soft rolls on the car right now. Oh, that's another thing I want to ask you about. And this is not from a official standpoint, from a driver's standpoint, Zola. Going into the next game, you're no longer forced to start the race on the tires you set your lap on in Q2. Do you think that's a good change or a bad change?
Right, the thing is, I like the fact that you can do that. I also don't like the fact you can do it. I think what they could have done, make it more interesting, is the top 10 should use the tyres they got to qualify on in Q3. So say you Q3, whatever tyres you qualify in Q3 is the tyres you start the race on. That would make it more interesting in Q3. That's another way.
Gabo's out!
Oh, he's gone the corner just been the exit, well, yeah, before the third sector. This is where Jonas John's just gone through. Now for a Mayo of Mr. Weirson is just going through. But yeah, I do like it though for certain tracks. Like Hungary for certain. I mean, you want to start on hard around there all day long, to be fair. And like Britain is another one that you could quite easily start on hard because it's a good track for them. So I do like it. It's also going to bring up a hell of a lot more strategy calls. So people that are good at strategy. Jigsaw's gone Rouge.
Oh, Jigsaw!
Has just gone through it as well. So I'm just going to say that let's go on board with Dragon. He should show it.
And coming to the party now is Gabo. Gabo, go ahead and include your audio. Big accident. What happened that took you out there?
Yeah, I was pushing like crazy to probably qualify with those mediums, but I spun and I broke my rear wheel. Big deal. But let's see how it goes in the race.
Looks like you're going to be starting P14 right in the middle of the eye of the storm. Do you think you can make it to the race in?
I don't know. It's going to be difficult.
Oh,
I'm
can.
not.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard because even on equal, it's a tough track for me. So I don't know. I'll probably try to get in the points. That's like the realistic objective.
Alright, well, I do want to say thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us. It's a shame to see you knocked out in Q2. Hopefully you don't repeat this in the race. Alright, now also coming in the party is XRL Jigsaw. Jigsaw, you put together a relatively good lap in Q1. Everything fell apart in the Al Rouge Rodillion section for you in Q2. What happened?
Yeah, apologies, Gabba. There. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing there for a second. But starting P13, I just crashed, didn't I? Lost it on thingy, and here we are having an interview in the stream.
Yes.
Oh well, it was entertainment at least for the viewers watching.
Well, no one's seen it.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't even see it.
Wonderful.
We just barely saw your.
Well,
We just barely saw your car as one of the hostages
We'll
went
catch
by.
it in the race. It'll be fine.
I crashed for nothing then. Lovely.
To be fair, someone else had literally just crashed 10 seconds earlier, and we were still reacting to that.
Yeah, Gabba.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I mean,
Gabba
at least you actually did like more than the lap. I only went 3 corners before I spun and died. So.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to beat the record of 4 finishes from that first XRL race here, way back when the game.
Oh, the exhibition one?
Yeah, when the game first came out. That
Well, we had fewer starters that race. I think there were only 16 starters that time.
Oh, more chance of crashing this time round then.
Yeah. Also, you had to go through like 3 lobby resets in that event because the game kept mucking up, and I couldn't even keep the broadcast going through the entire race as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. To be fair, it was a bit of a, it messed up a bit, didn't it? But this one should be better
McLaren
now.
around, Dragon in Sector 2.
There goes
as
another
Flavor
one.
goes to the top, 145.202.
Why is there a
There's another
dinosaur
one.
parked sideways? Can't park there, David. John. Jesus Christ. Right. It's Torpedo. Is the car is on a lap now. He's on the mediums, I believe. He's just going through the second sector. Fast left-hander.
Alright. So the big question then, Jigsaw. Looks like you're going to be starting somewhere between 10th and 13th. What do you think your likelihood is of being able to make it to the end of today's race? And now Torpedo invalidates.
I'm obviously going to win the race. Everyone will just bin it around me, and I'll take advantage.
Mr. Wilson, because Torpedo just invalidated. He's going on a fast right-hander where somebody died earlier. Matrix, I think, wasn't it?
Matrix died
Torpedo.
earlier.
Yeah,
loads of
Matrix
people
died earlier.
So Dragon has set a lap time of a 158.0, so that pushes Jigsaw to well, you're going to go 13th, I expect, unless Torpedo and Mr. Wilson feel sorry for you.
Guaranteed 13th. Get in there. We'll take that.
Alright, but you seem to think that you'll be able to turn this into a victory, so we'll definitely keep an eye on you, and I will absolutely mock you in the interview if you do not finish this race, though.
Please. Oh my god.
I
need to be careful what I say.
I would
because-
save it for X3 though. If he does anything in this race, save it for X3 tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's actually really tempting. Yeah, but then if I save it for X3 tomorrow, oh Christ, what in the world? I don't think Torpedo's gonna be very happy about that.
Dear, what's he doing there?
Where's Alonso for you? What are you doing?
Well, Torpedo's not going to be happy about that because even if he puts down a blistering time, I think he's not going to be able to go much faster than 8th or 9th on this set of tires. The good news, though, is that he is on medium, so tire life shouldn't be too much of an issue for him. For him, the issue is going to be fuel. Will he have enough fuel to go for another proper flyer? Alright, well, I do want to say, Jigsaw, thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us. Hopefully, if I get to talk to you again, it's after a good finish at the end of the race and not midway through it.
Well, we'll see. We'll save that for tomorrow in France.
Oh no, I'm still gonna mock you here because at France, there's not a whole big likelihood of you DNFing.
To be fair, right? If I DNF France, you might. You've got better reason to mock me in France if I'd crash and DNF than here. To be fair, but.
Nah, I don't think you'll DNF at X3 in France. I think you'll... Quite frankly, Jigsaw, I think you're probably gonna... I would not be surprised if you had a bunch of spins at France, but you're not gonna hit anything to knock anything off. I'm pretty sure of that.
Who knows?
It's France! There's nothing around!
Other
It's
cars.
so big that you could walk the entire Nazi German army in just to recapture Paris!
Well, I just got a message with this thing. Disappointed in Torpedo. He's not living up to his gamer tag. He should have just torpedoed Mr. Wilson. Oh, nice.
Good strat.
Well, Dragon has improved his time up to a 45.966, and Torpedo has only set a 52.824. He is on the outside looking in, with Ryan Hurricane in the Haas on the bubble right now, and Frisbee still has yet to get his lap in. But as I say that, he's coming out of the final corner right now, low on fuel, and across the line in the Haas, Frisbee will jump to the top with a 44.723. They were not lying when they said they found some straightaway speed in that machine.
Yeah, but they are on soft combat tires. They are 1.1 seconds faster. Well, between 1.1 and 1.3. So if you if you put mediums on, that means he's doing a 46 flat. So that would put them around about where Smooth is at 8th. So I wouldn't say too much yet because that means he's slower than Dragon. He's slower than Dave. Oh, Dave's hit pit wall. Dave's hit pit wall.
no.
Pit entrance. He's dead.
And
I've got
that
that
will
on
be
my screen
massive
as well. That
controversy because Dave he was in a position to make it in, and now he won't. And for Ryan Hurricane and Torpedo, they just need to beat Kinsey's time now.
Whoa, I can't. Yeah, they don't know. This is the thing because Dave was going to qualify in 10th. Unless everybody beats a 1:45.7, we'll have 9 cars in Q3, and 6 cars will
Dragon
go out.
comes
5
into the
cars will go
pits.
out, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon comes into the pits after he had to avoid the wreckage of that Mercedes. My camera is now really messing up right now. I don't know why it's focused on this really strange view. There we are, now I can see. Smoothie is in the middle of the lap right now on medium tires, but I think he may have pulled back a bit because he's not on a real hardcore flyer.
No, he's not on the lap.
Kinsey has now been squeezed down.
Look at his DRS, he's not on the lap.
Yeah. Kinsey has now been squeezed out as Torpedo goes up to 5th with a 45.846.
Yeah,
but Kinsey has already answered because he has put on soft tire compounds.
Ryan's on the lap, he's 9 tenths up in P12. He would jump up into 9th position in the Haas. Going down to the final chicane.
Ozda has retired in the pit lane. He feels comfortable. Worson is also just retired in the pits.
Ryan goes into P8 with a 146.398 on soft compound
So
tires.
now Mr. Worson is on the outside. He will not advance. What about Kinsey Retros? We see Dragon now coming back out of pit lane.
Kenzie needs to beat a 146.446. He's
But that
invalidated.
Ferrari has invalidated this lap right now, and that's not going to help him.
What time's left? 1 minute 20. He got enough time. He might have enough time to come around again and do another lap.
I think the question for Kinsey is, will he have enough fuel to go for another lap?
Yeah, he has. His light's not flashing yet. Oh, Kenzie, don't.
Oh, big twitch! Frisbee retires in the pit lane. He feels comfortable.
Yeah, Kenzie has enough fuel because his fuel light isn't going off yet, so he should have enough fuel for another lap. Ryan
Smoothie on a push lap right now.
Beavers is done, I think. Right, so yeah, it looks like it is just Smooth and Kenzie on laps. Smooth needs to beat he needs to find 5 100s. If he finds 5 100s, he's guaranteed through, and he's definitely up in his time. He's on purple there for his lap time.
Just a few corners left, but the risk of invalidation, the final chicane is high. McLaren instant, Dragon has pulled aside to let other drivers by.
Kenzie does
Through
make
the
it to
final
the line.
chicane.
Kenzie makes it to the line, so he's going for another ram. We've still got a chance.
And Smoothie
Should
on
be
the medium
through.
tires will set a time, 145.963. So now Kinsey has to beat Ryan Hurricane, who is in the Haas with a 46.398.
At the moment, there is only 3 cars on soft compound tyres on the start of the race here. It's going to be Frisbee, Flavor, and Ryan Hurricane maybe. If Kenzie gets through, it'll be Kenzie instead of Ryan Hurricane. It'll start on soft
Ryan
compound
comes
tyres.
into the pits now. Kinsey is up only by 4 thousandths at the end of Sector 1. Sector 2 is where that Ferrari is anticipated to be at its strongest.
This is the most important part of the track in my opinion. Second sector is so vital to get it right. It's so easy to invalidate here. He's got it right. Good job there. The problem is the problem is around here he got so scared of the curves because they just throw you every time. Unless you're 100% committed.
Very slight touch on the curbs knocked him off the proper racing line, but he recovered well enough before entering the braking zone.
He's 4 tenths up. It wouldn't be enough, I don't think. No, it wouldn't be. We don't miss the Wilson, but that'll be it. Needs to find another 6 tenths in the final sector. Let's see what he's got then. Nope,
At the line, 46.579. Not good enough.
But he's in the best
in the
place to be in. Being outside top 10. 11th is the best place to be. So
I kind of did. Well, I would agree. If you're thinking only of tire strategy, I can't help but think there's a high likelihood of a multi-car accident in the first lap or two, and I would not want to be right in the middle of the grid here.
XRL
That's
never
far.
has any incidents in lap 1. How about?
Take your mirrors, or take your.
Yeah, the last time Asda was here, he kind of decided he wanted to be Torpedo or a Kamikaze or something. But so Move is in the pit, so we are done, I think. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Smoothie had totally run out of fuel and just kind of barely creeped his
So
way
there's-
to pit lane.
Yeah, there's 3 cars on softs, and that is both Hatted in Frisbee and Ryan Hurricane are both on soft compound, and so is Flavor in the Red Bull. Everyone else is on
This
medium
could actually
compound
work
tires.
out relatively well for XRL Flavor. Flavor has established a knack for himself of making it to the end of races and going long on tires. This could be a great chance for Flavor to steal another podium finish late in the season. Not saying it will happen, I'm just saying this race, it could look good for him. So as we look at the drivers that do advance, here's the big thing to consider though. Ozda, the fastest on everyone with the medium tires with a 45.681. The gap between Ozda and Lowe though in an AlphaTauri, only 2 thousandths of a second between Ozda and Lowe in third and fourth, and those are your two fastest drivers on the medium, so incredible there. And then Torpedo's not too far off as well, so we know the AlphaTauris are very, very capable, at least on single lap pace. For the Manufacturers' Championship, Williams, no representation in the top 13 spots. I think this could be a shot for AlphaTauri to potentially lock up the Manufacturers' title, if not today, then set themselves up to lock up the Manufacturers' title next week.
I think they have it anyway, to be fair. We've got 3 races to pretty much get, like, what, 40 points. So, you think they're going to get that pretty fairly?
But there's only one Williams, only one Ferrari. If those 2 cars earn no points, and the AlphaTauris both finish, and finish well, it could happen. I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying it could happen, especially with how basically no one except Kinsey has been running in the Ferrari for the last several weeks, and now with BG Bulbies kicked out of the Williams, I think it's possible.
He's not kicked out of Williams, he's a reserve.
Yeah, but now he's a reserve only for the Haas.
Yeah, well, say, I mean, we did have a Williams reserve, but he didn't realise that XIX wasn't here, and we didn't realise he was free to race either, so which is a shame. But we could have filled that car, but I don't think we're going to be able to now. But yeah, so XRL, like I say, XIX didn't turn up. So it is what it is. Not much we can do about that.
Alright, so the first driver onto the track this time is Frisbee in the Haas. One of the fastest people we've seen thus far when it comes to qualifying sessions. Ozda also out on circuit. He has been joined already by the AlphaTauri of XRL Lowe, and behind Lowe is Torpedo. I think Lowe's going to try and give Torpedo a tow down the straights to improve his teammate's lap. So 6 of our 9 drivers are on the circuit right now. 2 drivers to watch though in particular in this session will be XRL Dragon and XRL Ozda. Both of them have been showing this session. They have very, very fast cars. They're very confident with their cars. Sometimes too confident because both of them have had quite a few spins throughout the session though.
Massive the towing. Frisbee's got the tow from Ryan Hurricane. Massive tow.
Right underneath the rear wing of that machine. 30.556 at the end of Sector 1. So some great timing there in the Haas camp. And also this now has set Ryan Hurricane in a position that when Frisbee does his cooldown lap, he might be able to give his teammate Ryan Hurricane a tow down the straight. Frisbee taps the outside wall, invalidates. So now, with that in mind, the focus goes to Lowe and Torpedo, as they will be the next ones likely to cross the line. Well, no, actually, I take that back. It would be Ozda. Alright, here comes Ozda through the final chicane right now, and onto the front straight. At the line, he'll set the time that everyone will be gunning for, 144.875, and now we see the AlphaTauris coming up to the line behind him. Lowe will be the first. He'll set a 144.565, even faster, and then he'll be joined by Torpedo right after. No, Torpedo came into the pits. So instead, it's actually going to be Dragon who will be the third driver to set time, if he keeps it clean and legal in this final sector, in this final chicane. At the line for Dragon, 144.629. That splits the 2 times I've already been set. Now the focus goes to Jabus John, who's at 115.881 at the end of Sector 2 right now. At the line for John, 144.593, still not beating Lowe's time in the AlphaTauri, but John has a good car under him without a doubt. Frisbee low on fuel, and he's invalidated this lap as well, and Ryan Hurricane came into the pits, and Ozda has gone around on his cooldown lap. Doesn't look like he's hit anything, but that seems to be the way it is for Ozda. One blistering crazy lap, and then an incident. Smoothie 25 now beginning his turn, as he brings that Renault-powered Alpine flying downhill into Al Rouge. Now up through Rodillion and down the back straightaway. Rear wing opens up. At the end of Sector 1, he has set a time of 30.728 seconds. Ryan Hurricanes now come back out onto the circuit. Only 9 cars on the track. It makes it a lot easier to keep track of who's who and where's where.
Yeah, Haas of Ryan is just part of the pits going up Radion and Rouge, and he's going to do his hot lap now. I think they just swap places. I think Frizzy's going to come out as well in it, like as he's coming around, so tow him back.
And Dragon now goes to the top, 144.564. It's going to be really interesting, Zola, because you're a McLaren driver, and normally we see you starting near the front at these races, and Dragon hangs out in the back. Today it looks like it's going to be a reverse, where Dragon's going to be starting near the front, and you'll be the one starting near the back.
Yeah, so it makes change. It'll give me a chance to go for Waddington's, we all call the Waddington point, where he starts at the back of the field and gets driver of the day because he gains the most places. So I'm going to go for that this week.
Alright, Smoothie coming out of the final chicane now. And down the front straightaway, across the line, it will be a time 145.194. Slowest of everything thus far, but still within 3/4 of a second of Dragon's time at the top of the sheets.
So slow so far with the one the slowest, but there's still 4 cars to set lap times. And it is a banker though, at the end of the day, at least he's got a lap down, so it forces everyone else who's been behind him to set laps. I mean, if Frisbee, Torpedo and Flavor look like they're only going to go for one more run with 4 minutes left.
Flavor's not yet come out onto the track, and as I say that,
yep,
that's Flavor finally coming out to get a lap.
Torpedo's out as well, I think. Was that low? He's low, sorry, so he is low.
Here comes Ryan Hurricane to begin another flyer. Or at least another attempt at a flyer.
Yeah, only cars yet to leave the pit lane is Frisbee and Torpedo.
Yellow flag in Sector 2. Smoothie really underfueled that car, and now he's backed way off just so we can guarantee that he'll make it to the line. Dragon has retired in pit lane, so he feels extremely confident right now.
No, he's got no tyres left. Put money on it. He's got no more tyres left. That's normally when they do that, and they only have one. They only hit once in Q3. It means they've got no tyres left.
Well, we'll bring him in real quickly to see, just in case.
Because the problem is now, if that's the case, he's only got pole by a fountain a second on low, and Frisbee and Ryan are both on lap. So I think he might have gone too early if he has got tyres left. Ooh, Ryan's
Hurricane now invalidates in Sector 2.
Moves run out of fuel.
All right, coming into the party right now is XRL Dragon. Dragon, go ahead and include your audio. Provisional pull for the moment, but only by 1,000th of a second. What do you have to say thus far? How tightly are you biting your fingernails?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm feeling really confident. Car feels perfect in and out of every corner. Hitting the apexes. Playing very conservative with strategy today. It's getting down to crunch time for McLaren. We need the points, and today will be a points day if I have anything to say about it.
All right, Dragon, very interesting inversion of fortunes throughout a lot of the season. It's normally Zola who qualifies better out of you, and he runs a lot of the race near the